What up, world? What is popping? You are in tune to the Know It All podcast with your usual suspects, your big homies. Big G, what's up, man? How you doing, G?
Man, glad to be back in the saddle for this week's Know It All podcast, man.
Man, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. Happy anniversary again from last week. And we got, of course, Tate at Tate Boy Fresh. Tate, what's popping, man? How you doing?
Wow, what's good, man? I'm glad to be here too, man. Chop it up, talk some sports. Glad to have Big G back. I don't know what ridiculous burner we gonna hear this week, but one thing I know for sure, it will be something.
Coming.
It's coming. It's coming. You count on
we're going to get a ridiculous burner this week. A ridiculous, man. But definitely, if you like what you're hearing and like what you're seeing, man, make sure that you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on Twitch, and subscribe on YouTube. Definitely, we are here for you and yours. Make sure you put your questions in the chat so that way we can get to it, man, because we got a lot of things that we definitely need to cover today. But before we get into that, man, let's get into this. And world, we are here once more on a Sunday afternoon, chopping it up about the world of sports, man. The biggest thing that happened this week was the Tyreek Hill trade. Oh my gosh. Wow. And now, if this didn't slant the NFL, I don't know what did. The Deshaun Watson trade was magnificent. It was huge. So we're having all of these big name free agent splashes in the NFL that's kind of changing the tide, man. And this Tyreek Hill trade, I got to get you guys' opinions, man. I've been waiting all week so I could hear what Tate had to say about this Tyreek Hill move. I got some theories. I got some things I want to say. But, man, Tate, get to it, man. Talk to me, man. How do you feel about this Tyreek Hill trade?
Well, it comes down to Kansas City certainly excuse me. Kansas City certainly didn't want to lose Tyreek Hill, but they just couldn't pay him. He was commanding too much money. And the thing about that is this year coming up, the 2022 season, is when Patrick Mahomes' $450 million contract kicks in. The first year of that, I believe he'll count like $38 million against the cap. Tyreek obviously was looking for a deal. He's got a deal from Miami once he got traded to be the highest paid receiver in league history. 4 years, $120 million. That's an average of $30 million a year. I mean, just 3 years ago, that was quarterback money. And Tyreek Hill's a receiver and not even the best receiver in the NFL. He's a big play waiting to happen. We know he got like 4.29 speed. We know he can take a crossing route to the house just like that in the snap of a finger. But what Miami gave up to get Tyreek Hill, what was it? 5 picks, right? It was two first rounds, a second, a fourth, and a fifth, or fourth and a sixth, something like that.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, in my opinion, Kansas City is the winner of that trade.
Right.
I mean, one, they got all those picks, all those draft assets in a receiver-heavy draft. So now you got not only Green Bay trading Devontae Adams looking for a receiver, now Kansas City's looking for a receiver, and Big G is getting closer and closer to getting his 6 or 7 receivers in the first round.
How? But okay. Yeah,
but yeah, I think Kansas City will come in and take a receiver with one of their 2 first-round picks. They save $120 million. You look at the contract Tyreek Hill got paid, and I think Tyreek Hill's a winner. And I don't think Tyreek Hill will put up the same numbers in Miami as he did in Kansas City because he doesn't have the caliber quarterback that he had in Kansas City.
So let's talk that. You bring up a good point, and I wanted to hear that from you especially. But here's what I want to hear from G. Schematically, how does this hurt Kansas City? Talk to me, man. How does this make Kansas City look? Tate has said, "Oh, they can get a receiver in the draft," but I don't think you replace Tyreek Hill, not in that system, not in that way. But you tell me, G. Talk to me. How you feel about it schematically?
They've already done it. The NFL is a copycat league. It's been a copycat league forever. Teams have figured out how to beat Kansas City. Cover 2 over the top with Tyreek Hill, bracket Kelsey, and you can beat them. Now, did they pick up a receiver that was the caliber of Tyreek Hill? No. But have they picked up weapons already that can cause problems with defenses? You got to remember, Josh Gordon was still there. Travis Kelce's there. Valdez Scantling is there. Juju Smith-Schuster's there. Pringle's there. McCole Hartman is there. So they already got those guys already there. They picked up Jones yesterday, running back out of Tampa Bay to come out of the backfield. So now they got Williams, Jones, and Edwards-Hilaire. So they got weapons everywhere.
Who is Jones, Big G? Oh, the Jones
running back from Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
USC.
Right, the one played at USC. What's his first name? Okay, Ronald Jones. Okay,
right. So they are what I'm saying offensively. They're just as dangerous. You can't replace Tyreek Hill because he's a touchdown waiting to happen. But I've been saying all along that I wouldn't be shocked if they package these 2 picks and go up and get the kid that they want. Everybody and their mom knows that they want Garrett Wilson. So they're going to try to put a package deal together and go get him. To go with the team that they already have.
He's warming up with the burners already, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think everybody in the league wants Garrett Wilson, although Garrett Wilson is the favorite as far as the receiver that's going to come off the board first, right?
He's WR1. He's definitely WR1.
Yeah, he's. But I don't think everybody's going to try to package to go up and get him. He's not so.
There's at least 3 teams that will package to get that kid. If he doesn't come off the board with the Jets at 4, if he doesn't come off the board with the Jets at 4, there's 3 teams that are packing.
He's not going that high.
Okay.
He's not going that high. Here's the thing, man. So schematically, for me, you're right. Teams put out on how to play Kansas City, and I think that was one of those things where they were trying to reinvent themselves, but anyway, by going to find another wide receiver to go along with Tyreek Hill. But what I do know right now is that I think they're not the same team. They're not a home run waiting to happen team anymore without Tyreek Hill. I think I agree with you, Ma, but I think we can't discount McCole Hardman though, man. I mean,
correct.
He'll get a lot more opportunities, and he might be a half a tenth of a second slower than Tyreek Hill.
Correct.
That's 40 time. But
right.
I mean, we all know Tyreek Hill and pads was something else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, so here's my thing. Tate made the world of sense when he said this is what we have to do contract-wise, structurally. We can't afford to hold on to him. That was number one. I think that was right. G made the second big valid point of the fact that, teams had already put out the blueprint on how to beat him. Andy Reid is all about reinvention, and you do have these other names over there already just sitting, chilling on the bench. But my thought process is that you're literally not going to go find somebody in the draft to Tyreek Hill's a proven weapon, right? And you never go into battle without a proven weapon. So you're going to have to find somebody else who's going to be able to stretch the defense in a way that takes pressure off of Kelsey. And Mahomes, listen, he was the ultimate mistake maker. I mean, he was an eraser for Mahomes. Let
me ask you this, Mod. So what if Kansas City, and they wouldn't have to trade up to get him, what if they got Christian Watson, the wide receiver from North Dakota, 4.28 speed, 6'4", 210.
Yeah.
And they just got him just to stretch the field though. Then you got Juju underneath. You got Hardman underneath. You got Kels. And then you got, from what Big G, y'all tell me, Jones, you got a nice 3 running back system.
And Van Der Schelling from Green Bay, they got him too.
Yeah,
I think he was overpaid. They gave him $10 million a year. They only gave Juju a 1 year, $3.5 million contract, man. He with incentives, he might get incentives now that Tyreek is gone. He might hit those incentives. Yeah. But I mean, I think they kind of disrespected Juju a little bit. But you know,
a little bit. Okay. If you get him, which they can, and I think that's probably who they go with. I think that's exactly who they go with in the draft. I don't think they move up at all. I think they take these two picks back to back and they do what they do, right? But the gist of the matter is that Tyreek Hill is proven. He's proven. And the Dolphins coming out of this, the Dolphins paid a king's ransom. Let's get to the other side. They paid a king's ransom for Tyreek Hill. I gotta say something. This ain't a Big G burner, but this is some truth for your behind. I'm just gonna let you know. Tua is put up a shut up time in Miami, my G. If you don't listen, they have done everything. They went all in for you. They went all in for you, Tua. And if you don't do it this year, you're just not gonna do it. And definitely, I believe this move really, because everybody's been saying, oh, one of these two quarterbacks are going to be exposed. I think the one that has the chance to be exposed the most is Tua. What you guys think, man?
Well, I think it's certainly time for. Then even in spite of Tua, he got drafted 2 years ago. Then he played behind Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then last year I can't remember what all happened last year, but I don't think he played like all the games last year. So this is this season, new coach, the offensive coordinator that was in San Francisco. So he has weapons now. He got Tyreek Hill, he got Waddle over there. I believe they're trying to trade Devontae Parker. Gesicki is a nice tight end. At running back, they picked up Raheem Mostert, was also in San Francisco. So you look at Mostert, Waddle, Hill, Gesicki for a tight end. Them boys got speed on the field. And I think Tua's game is predicated on getting the ball out quick, the short intermediate passing game. He has some nice touch on the deep ball. I think Tua could be in right now. I would pick the Dolphins second in that division behind Buffalo.
Before the Patriots?
Before the Patriots, yes.
Ooh, spicy.
That wasn't intended to be a burner either.
What you think, G?
Miami, it doesn't help them. Miami is still, in my opinion, the 8th or down best team in the AFC. I can pick 7 or 8 teams, maybe even 9 teams right now that's better than them. Right now, on paper, right now. Yeah, it makes them where they can score points. But in order to win in the NFL, you got to have 3 things: an owner, a general manager, and a quarterback. If you got those 3 things, sometimes you can even overcome a trash coach. But if you have an owner, a general manager, and a quarterback, you can win in the NFL. Tua is not a top 10 quarterback.
And sometimes it's just a quarterback. Look at Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their ownership is finally starting to come into the 21st century.
Yeah.
But Zach Taylor, I was just talking about the AFC North coaches on the BTSC broadcast before this one. We were talking about the coaches. Zach Taylor got a terrible record.
Terrible. Horrible.
And he just went to the Super Bowl because of Joe Burrow, though.
Yeah. That's why I said owner, general manager, quarterback. If you got those 3 things, victory.
First of all, let's talk. Let's not downplay the system that he's in. The system that he's in make Jimmy Garoppolo look like a force. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, so you put him in that type of a system, he's gonna have those type of numbers. You know what I mean? I really believe that he's gonna have a more improved year. But if he doesn't do it, this on Tua, he's out of here. You can't tell me that Tua is going to be able to hold on to his job, because of the simple fact that, hey, man, you got all these weapons. And speaking of somebody who holding on to jobs, man, what is going to happen with Baker? What's going to happen with Baker Mayfield now? You can't keep Baker as a backup quarterback. That's not something that you can do if you're the Browns. And then not only that, let's talk about this. If you're another NFL team, you got to know, hey, you hard up. You want to get rid of this dude. So let me tell you what's going to happen. I wouldn't take him and give up no first-round pick for him. I wouldn't.
Baker was never going to get a first-round pick. The Browns is delusional.
Correct.
If they think that was going to happen.
B Dirt.
What up, B Dirt? What's popping, man?
B Dirt.
You don't think that the Browns could get a first-round pick for Baker Mayfield?
Third at best. A third-round pick at best. They probably got to give up a fourth or fifth and say we'll pay $8 million of his salary.
Wow. What the NFL teams is going to do is wait till June 1st when the Browns have to cut him. That's exactly what they're going to do. Now, my point about Baker is this, though. There's not 32 NFL quarterbacks better than Baker Mayfield. There's not. But whether or not he gets on the team and gets an opportunity to play, that's a different story. Because Baker has worked his way out of the league. Oh, there's not 32 quarterbacks in the NFL better than Baker Mayfield.
Wait a minute. So, okay, let's instead of saying who's better than Baker, let's say who's not better than Baker. Let's starting quarterback.
Well,
Jameson Winston.
I think all you gotta do is say where could Baker go and potentially start.
Correct. Jameson Winston, Marcus Mariota, Seattle, the New York Football Giants. I mean, do I got to keep going? The Houston Texans.
Danny Dimes.
The Houston Texans. There's 5.
Mitch Trubisky.
Probably he might be better. He might be better. There's 6. So
and the 16-inch.
But nobody's going to do that because Baker's attitude has worked itself out of the league. Baker thinks he's the one, and nobody's going to put up with that. He's a locker room disruptor. He's not a team player. He expects everybody to rally around him and him be the rah-rah guy. He can't do that. But talent-wise, as of today, right now in the NFL, there's not 32 quarterbacks better than him.
You saying he could go to Carolina and start over Darnold?
Yes, Darnold trash.
Wow.
He could go to over Sam Darnold. He could go over out in Seattle. He could go down to New Orleans and take Winston's spot.
Is he better than Tua? We just was talking about Tua.
He better than Tua. He better than Tua.
He warming up, Mod. He warming up.
There's not 32 NFL quarterbacks better than Baker Mayfield in the NFL.
Well, you just there's not 25 better than the list you just gave, about 8 of them.
Hey, I'm putting him somewhere between 22 and 25 as far as my top ranking quarterbacks. He's somewhere between 22 and 25.
Is he better than Jalen Hurts?
Yeah. Wow. He's better than Jalen. Jalen is better for Philadelphia's system, but Baker Mayfield is a more proven commodity than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has not shown that he can really throw the ball as of yet. Baker can throw the ball. The issue with Baker is that Baker thinks Baker believes that he's Joe Montana. Somewhere deep down in Baker's brain, he thinks he's Tom Brady. He thinks he's Joe Montana. He thinks he belongs on Mount Rushmore.
That's that Texas swag, ain't it, man? That's how the boys feel down there, ain't it?
But he's not. He's not. But is he a starting NFL quarterback? Yes. Baker Mayfield is a starting NFL quarterback.
Hey, I honestly, I'll say this: if he got cut June 1st, like Big G talking about, I wouldn't be mad. The Steelers got him and brought him in for competition. If he win the job over them other guys, he just win the job.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. But June 1st, the Browns is coming up off of it. They've already went and got the backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, the backup Watson. It looks like Watson's going to duck a suspension, or if he gets any games, it might be 3.
Oh, he ain't ducking a suspension. Where you get that from?
It looked like it
because you can't. How can you prove misconduct in any way, shape, form, or fashion when a court of law didn't find him guilty? No court of law.
Correct.
But it's still just bringing negative publicity to the league. I mean, Big B had the same thing.
He sat out a whole year.
Zeke got suspended, didn't he?
Yeah, but you got to think about this. Deshaun has already sat out a whole year. He's done his punishment. It's like you. It's
well,
like
he didn't sit out a whole year. The Texans benched him for a whole year.
Yeah, but still, it's like you go to jail and they give you time served. That's exactly what's supposed to happen with Deshaun Watson.
I'm betting right now a minimum of 4 games.
I say the max 3 if he gets them at all. But by them throwing out them last 2 cases, they just threw out the one, and then they're going to throw out the other one I think Monday. By them throwing them things out, man, yeah, Deshaun is looking at escaping from this one. You know, yeah. but he could get 3. He could get 3.
I don't think he gets any. If he gets any, it'll be 2. But I don't think he gets any. Honestly, I don't, because when it comes down to it, he basically was out for a whole year of football, and B-Dirt said time served would have been unpaid. He said time served would have been unpaid.
Right.
It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been. He signed a contract. They got to pay him. They had to give him that bread.
But if you get suspended, you don't get paid. You lose your game checks.
Correct.
You lose your game check, but you got guaranteed money in that contract, bro. And they got to get that to you.
That's different than the game check, which is why he gonna come better off, because Cleveland pay him a lot of his money up front. So when he gets suspended, it's gonna be off what his game check is. But he probably got like 36 million of his 46 million already in they made his signing bonus. So he got that already.
Correct.
So if he gets suspended, it's gonna be whatever the breakdown is for 10 million a season for 17 games.
And I'm just gonna tell you, that's a dangerous team, man. If the running game is still the way that it is, and with Deshaun Watson back there as a quarterback, that's a dangerous team, man. You no parts of it, because that team can slow the game down to a halt, and you probably, as an offense, maybe get 5 to 6 tries per half with the ball. Maybe because they can really take all the air out the ball and they don't have to pass it.
Why would they want to do that? And they paying the quarterback $46 million a year.
Right. They trying to score 50. They trying to get 50.
I'm just saying, you want to win. Think about it. If they took the same approach that they took with Baker, and they said, okay, look, we're gonna run the ball down your throat, dare you to stop it, make Deshaun make the big throws when he got to, which he can. I mean, this team is how you get them off the field.
They're going just the opposite, man. The NFL is a copycat league. It's 6 touchdowns for the victory.
Now,
everybody has loaded up, and they're going to play that 11 personnel, and it's 6 touchdowns for the victory.
They don't have to. I keep hearing you say that.
It's 6 touchdowns for the victory.
It's a copycat league. It's a copycat league. It is.
I'm telling you, it is,
league, bro. But it ain't to that point. San Francisco do what they do. They ain't copycat.
The 49ers run 11 personnel. They run 11 personnel just like everybody else, but they do it different. The issue is because Garoppolo has the ability to be as mobile and to be off script as the rest of the quarterbacks. But you're going to see a change in quarterback this year with the 49ers, and Trey Lance going to play quarterback, and it's going to be a whole different thing. 11 personnel causes problems in the NFL, man. Okay. When you go 3 wide, 1 tight, 1 running back and a quarterback, and you run play action, when you're at their mercy. If they run a cross route, it's over.
I'm gonna address that. G. B-Dirt said Baker has the ability of Tannehill and the confidence of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I agree.
I get it.
But he's better than Tannehill. He's better than Ryan Tannehill. But Baker at Tennessee is an upgrade for Tannehill. It's an upgrade for them. He's better.
Man, I'm telling you, throwing heat today, man. I get it.
Baker's between 22 and 25 best quarterbacks.
You said Baker better than Tannehill?
Yeah, Tannehill trash.
Tannehill
trash.
Tannehill been to an AFC Championship game, and it goes to the playoffs regularly. Baker been in the playoffs 1 time.
Tannehill been in an AFC Championship game
with arguably a better roster.
Okay, so put Tannehill with Big Boy that play running back for Tennessee, and let's see what time it is then.
You put
Baker with him,
but Baker with Big Boy.
Well, Big G, Nick Chubb ain't that far off.
But
I mean, You got two of them over there.
Two of them.
You got two of them. You ain't got one. You got two.
Tannehill trash.
And are we, even though he gone, are we to think Baker would have done any more with AJ Brown and Julio Jones than he did with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham?
No, he wouldn't have.
Right.
No,
he ran Beckham. The reason why he ran Beckham, and I did a deep dive search on this. The issue with Baker and Beckham, it was like oil and vinegar. They're both off-script players. Baker thrives in doing things off-script.
What you mean?
Odell thrives in doing things off-script.
You mean
oil
and vinegar?
Oil and vinegar. They thrive on off-script, so you can't have two guys off-script to do like that. Baker has to be in a system where he's the only guy that can throw it off-script and the guys adjust. He can't be in a system where he's got dudes going to compromise and do what they want to do. Can't do
it. Big G like a stove with all four burners on.
Well, B Dirt is a hater. B Dirt's a big one. He's a hater. He hates Baker Mayfield. Hell, I hate Baker Mayfield. But I want to give him his respect.
I tell you what, B Dirt feeling real good right now because it got to feel good to have a young Joe Burrow, man. You could talk about the majority of the quarterbacks in the league. You got young Joe Burrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So my thing on 11 personnel though, G, I'm gonna be real with you. 11 personnel. The reason why you're seeing that is that the NFL game, and this is just checks and balances. The NFL game has to take the best that the college game gives them, right? And we all know that you're having in the off season. You're playing, all of these 11-on-11 games.
7-on-7. They play
7-on-7, 11-on-11, basically. You know what I'm saying? You're out here, you're playing them, and that's happening, right? So you're seeing the wide receivers get better. You're seeing the skill players get better on defense, but the evolution of the league is when you put everything together, there's still this thing that you've got to account for, G, and that's your defensive line, because if your defensive line can get any type of pressure, and I'm talking about 1003 pressure on a quarterback, all of that stuff, the dink and dunk stuff may not be, it may or it may not happen because of the simple fact that if your skill receivers can't catch the ball or they drop the ball, now you're out of here. And like I just said earlier, you only get so many possessions with the ball in the NFL. You only get so many possessions. So do I respect what you're saying as far as the 11-on-11 game? Absolutely.
It's not 11-on-11. It's 11 personnel. 3 wide, 1 tight.
11 personnel.
3 wide, 1 tight, 1 running back, and a mobile quarterback.
Do I respect it? Yes. But every team is different, and every team's going to have their own identity.
Everybody is running 11 personnel. All the teams, all the free agent movement that you saw in the NFL this offseason has all been geared to set your team up to run 11. The Denver Broncos 11, Kansas City 11, Raiders 11, LA Chargers 11, Pittsburgh Steelers 11, Cincinnati Bengals 11, Cleveland Browns 11, Indianapolis Colts 11, Buffalo Bills 11, Miami Dolphins 11. Everybody else don't even count. Those are your top 11 teams in the AFC. And the NFC, Dallas Cowboys 11, San Francisco 49ers 11, Arizona Cardinals 11, LA Rams 11. Even the Green Bay Packers with no receivers is still going to come out and run 11 personnel. 11 gets you the Super Bowl.
So, okay. All right, G. I'm just saying to you, every team has their own identity. While they may jump out in 11-man of personnel, they're still going to change. They're going to adapt and have their own personality inside of it. B. Dirt said, I love Baker when he planted the flag in Columbus. Yeah, I think we all remember that. That's
another reason why I hate Baker Mayfield. Still to this day, I can't stand him. But I got to give him his props. He's a top 32 quarterback. It is what it is.
Oh, you say he's top 32. You said
there's not 32 NFL starters better than Baker Mayfield. There's not. You cannot. Now there's not 32 guys, 32 quarterbacks that's going to start on every team, and everybody's quarterback is better than Baker. That's not the truth. Baker is a top 32 NFL quarterback. It's his attitude, the way he carries himself and how he thinks he's the man, or why he's not on the NFL roster right now. But they're going to cut him June 1st anyway to give him a chance to sign where he wants to go anyway.
Sheesh.
Hey, real quick before you transition, my big G.
Mhm.
Garrett Wilson won't go before 8, the Falcons pick. If he goes there, but he won't go before then. And then I want to know why both of y'all in the Texas thing, why both of y'all call a bench a bench.
That's how they say it down in Texas, bro. That's how they say the bench. Yeah,
Okay.
the bench.
You riding the bench. It is what it is. You gonna get that fine.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
before we flip on this too, top 5 best free agents teams out of the free agency, not the draft. Bengals, Chargers, Browns, Rams, Las Vegas Raiders. What do they all have in common? 11 personnel. Bengals, Chargers, Browns, Rams, Raiders.
Why you saying the top 5 free agency teams?
The teams that benefited the best out of the free agency. They're probably 6 or 7.
The Chargers didn't benefit from free agency?
I said there are 2. I said Bengals, Chargers, Browns, Rams, Raiders, top 5.
Why you got why you got the Bengals so high?
What they did in their offensive line.
Lavelle Collins, who else?
They got 3 free agents. B Dirt know exactly who it is. But the Bengals, their only weakness was their offensive line. Now they have a line. So now that even makes 11 even more dangerous.
I think they're gonna be suspect at corner this year. I think that'd be a really good team. And they lost a tight end, Uzama. They lost him too.
But they got a tight end. They got the kid out of Atlanta. Or they go to they got a tight end. Not Hunter Henry, but I can't think of the other dude that they got. They got a tight end. They lost the kid and went to the Jets, but they still have a tight end too.
Okay.
So they ain't trash.
I put the Steelers in the top 5.
Yeah.
I would say they're 6 or 7. I like them. I like Kansas City and them as the next 2, as far as teams that made moves.
And then you giving the Browns credit on the trade. That's not free agency. That was a trade to get Deshaun Watson.
But they came up during the free agent period. So
yeah, man. I mean, they came up. It's Merry Christmas for them, man.
And a Happy New Year. It really is. So, man, definitely what we have going on this weekend, March Madness. And March Madness has definitely been March freaking Madness. And give it up, man. The first 15 seed team we ever seen make it this far, man. Give it up to those guys. I mean, St. Peter's, right?
Yeah.
It took a lot of moxie and a lot of things going right for them to get here to this position. So I just want to give it up to them, man. Honestly, man, that's big. It's huge. But you ran into that buzzsaw today called North Carolina Tar Heels. And in the Final Four, what we have now is the Blue Bloods. We got Duke. We have Villanova. We have Kansas, and we have North Carolina. I mean, that's just like, the who's who of Final Fours that we've seen in the past, and, definitely the all-time greatest basketball teams. Now, before we actually get into, because we can dive into the schematics of this whole thing, and if you guys have questions, we could talk about different teams. But I like to do this, man. Give me your top 3 March Madness players, and give me one March Madness moment that you will never forget. In the history of March Madness, in your time watching the tournament. Give me that, man. I'm gonna start with G on this one, man. I want to start on G. G, give me let's do this. Give me your top 2 March Madness players, and then your one March Madness moment.
Larry Johnson, 1989, 1990 UNLV Running Rebels, put them boys on his back and took them to the chip, and almost went undefeated and win it the next year. So Larry Johnson, as far as a player, man, I'll never forget how he dominated in the tournament, man. The second one is Corliss Williams. Corliss Williamson, big dog, out of the University of Arkansas, 94, 95. Player was there at the university, saw Corliss get recruited out of Russellville, Arkansas, show up and took over as soon as he showed up on the campus. And I saw them boys, Arkansas, get on the run, him, Scotty Thurman, Corey Beck, and go on a run and win that chip, man. So those are the two moments I'll never forget. Maybe because I was up front and personal with one of them. But Corliss Williamson and Larry Johnson will always stick out in my head.
LJ. Crazy LJ story. You know, he went to JUCO in Texas. He was from
Odessa Permian.
Yeah, no, he wasn't from Permian. He was from
No, he went to JUCO in Odessa Permian.
Well, not Odessa Permian is a high school. He went to JUCO in Odessa.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely from Dallas. It wasn't Carter, it was another high school in Dallas. But he came to a little old bitty town because I had a guy from my town who was Coleman, Texas, who was actually going to Odessa Junior College. And brother came down there, man. We only had one court in our town, man. The brother ripped the rim down, man. I mean, man, I go to Abilene, I come back, the brother done ripped the rim down, man. And it was him. I wish he'd have signed the backboard because that would have been definitely there for all time. But brother ripped up, and it was a steel rim. I don't know how he did it. Can't tell you how he did it, but he sure took it with him.
6'6", 250 is how he did it.
Big G, I appreciate you for that, man. Man, talk to us, man. Give me your top 2 March Madness performance, and give me your top March Madness moment.
One of my top performers, man, in March Madness, I gotta go back to the 87 tournament, man. I'm gonna go with maybe it was 89. Glenn Rice.
Yeah.
Taking the Mission Wolverines and putting them on his back.
Yeah.
Him, Ramil Robinson, Sean Higgins. You know, that Michigan literally won that tournament because of the individual skills of Glenn Rice. I don't know what he scored. I know he hit big shot after big shot and was just, so yeah. I believe that was 89. And I was kind of torn with my second one. But just another guy who carried his team all the way through, and they in the Final Four this year. That's your boy from Kansas.
Danny Manning.
Danny Manning. You already know, Big G.
Yeah, Danny Manning. He balled.
Yeah, he balled out.
Yeah, he balled out, man. I mean, a lot of young people don't even remember Danny Manning because he never was a big name in the NBA. He was good.
Yeah.
But he was never that big name that he was in college, man. He played for Larry Brown. Larry Brown's one of the great all-time coaches in college and pro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I go with Glenn Rice and Danny Manning.
Your moment. What was your top moment?
My top moment, it's an easy one. I remember exactly what I was doing. I want to tell y'all what I was doing because I would incriminate myself. But I believe it was the 91 Final Four, the pass from Grant Hill to Christian Laettner.
Yeah.
The jump against Kentucky.
Yeah, against Kentucky.
I believe that wasn't even the Final Four game. That was the Elite Eight game.
Yeah, it was.
Well, no, it's your moment.
I'm saying that. I'm just saying the game wasn't as big. It's a big game, but it wasn't one of the big games. Wasn't Final Four, wasn't championship, it was Elite Eight. But they had to have that to get them there. And that was just one of the memorable moments. And, I want to say, hey, to that girl I was with that day. Hi.
Hey, Mod, I got to tell you about this quick moment too. I was there in the Superdome when Weber called a timeout against North Carolina. I was living in New Orleans. Ahmad knows that. I was living in New Orleans, and I actually saw Weber go towards his corner, travel, and call the timeout. I'll never forget that because I was there. I was heartbroken because I was pulling so much for Michigan. And I'm a Buckeye till I die. But that Michigan team, man, was just that you talk about a team that didn't win it, that should have won it. That was the team. If there was ever a team that didn't win it, that should have won it.
Michigan too, but I think a misnomer about that, man, is Weber's timeout. Michigan was down. They were down 2.
Yeah.
They could have tied it. So it wasn't like it was tied or they was down 1. They could have hit a basket and got the win. They could have extended the game. We still don't know what would have happened. Yeah. But yeah, I felt bad for C-Dub in that moment too, though.
Me too. Yeah. When they look inside of it, you could see that there were people on the sideline telling him, call timeout, call timeout. And so, but they had just told him in the huddle that we don't have any more timeout. Honestly, that moment I don't even want to bring up because Ray being a good friend of mine, it hurt. That hurt. Like that hurt for real. Because I was like, man, and then that was the last time they were able to even try to, to go for it. The first year they came back, I just knew they were going to win it. The next year I was like, yo, they got it. But, for me, I'd have to say that whole, like I'm going to have to give the whole players of the Fab Five one of my, players for the moment. That Fab Five team was just phenomenal. They were fun to watch, man. They were really fun to watch. They were Lob City before there was a Lob City. They were swaggerific. Everybody was out there just doing it.
They changed and impact basketball just as much as Michael Jordan.
Hey, Big G.
Yeah.
Do you remember who the Fab Five, their freshman year, put out in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four?
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh, Big G, know it all.
Chris Gent, Jamal Brown, Mark Baker, Lawrence Funderburk, Perry Carter, Trey Lee coming off the bench.
Man, you left Jim Jackson out, man. What did you do?
Jim Jackson, of course, he's the captain. He's the captain. But that's the team that they put out.
And Jackson worked out on Ray during the season, but Ray came back that game when it mattered and put the clamps on Buddy. Put the clamps on him. And I was like, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. I think my other player that I would be like, yo, because I didn't see Magic. I didn't see Michael. You know what I'm saying? I only saw the footage of that. I mean, I wasn't getting into it like then and there. Kemba Walker, bro. Walker and that UConn team, man, he was hitting big shot after. Now, that's somebody who was hitting big shot after big shot. He had ice in his veins that whole tournament. He was hitting game winners.
It started in the Big East tournament.
Yeah, man, he was hitting game winners. He was calling buckets. He was saying his whole name the whole time, man. And listen, I think that was probably one of my favorite moments there as well. You know what I'm saying? Just watching him hitting game winner.
You didn't see Michael Jordan in North Carolina, though?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't physically watch that game. I seen it after the fact, but I didn't physically watch that game. So that wasn't that can't count. That
right? No, I get you. I got you. You a little whippersnapper, a little younger than me and Big G. But I remember that Georgetown, North Carolina game.
Oh, buckets! They was going at it.
Man,
buckets.
Listen, and that's back when the Big East was something to be seen, bro. Like I mean, definitely. I remember March Madness being different. Like it's really celebrated now, but we used to have March Madness on in the classroom. Like, teachers used to let us put the games on so we could watch them, and then a good friend of mine, Sean Rivers, shout out Big Rib. He went down there to the Final Four and he went to some tournament games and I remember just, talking with him when he got back, man, and all the pictures with Calvin Chaney and everybody, man, it was dope to see. It was just
who is Sean Rivers? He played for somebody?
No, it's a good friend of mine. It's actually Ray Jack's cousin.
Yeah,
Ray Jack's cousin. We went to high school together, man. That's my partner.
Rivers a cool dude.
I thought you talking about the dude that played for Notre Dame.
No.
Rivers a cool dude, man.
Yeah, that's my partner. My partner. But actually, cool story about him is the black socks that Nike put on and began to start selling after the Fab Five. Nobody wearing black socks before then. Rivers is actually the one that was there. He was actually at the game with Ray and them asked him to go get him some socks from the mall. He went to the mall, got black socks, and he came back with black socks, and the whole team was like, hey, man, go get me some. So he went back and he got some more black socks, and he was kind of responsible for that, which was a dope moment, man, in college. He should get a paycheck for that. Nike, y'all should cut the check. Y'all should cut the check. Rivers did that, man. Shout out to Big Real.
Rivers has something to do with them wearing them blank T-shirts too, man. Yeah, I know that just from talking with him. Yeah,
the black socks is his claim to fame. That's his whole claim to fame is the black socks.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you guys, man, as we kind of downshifting and switching gears, man, NBA playoffs, bro. Like at this point, man, what Bron gonna do, man? I need to know, man, what Bron gonna do. I see Bron up in backgrounds that I'm looking at right now, but yeah, man, tell me what Bron gonna do, man. Tell me. I need to know. I need to know at this point, man. What is Bron gonna do?
Man, I'm trying to pull up the NBA standings real quick, but the Lakers right now are ninth place.
They got a half game.
They definitely playing in the play-in because there's no way they can get up to 6. They like 10 games back to 6th spot. But man, I think I don't know the story on AD yet. They got about 9 games left. They played a little better. They beat my Cavs the other day. LeBron had a 38-point triple-double. Cavs fell out the top 6 and fell down to 7, man. We've been struggling since the All-Star break. But I think the Lakers, man, they win the play-in game, regardless of who they play, which could I believe 7 and 9 play. I think that's how it worked. Anyway, so they would play the Timberwolves or the Clippers or the Pelicans. Those with the Lakers, the 4 teams that would be vying for the play-in.
So you think they should beat the Timberwolves?
I think they in a 1 or 2 game series, just the experience of those guys, and the Timberwolves don't have no experience. I think it matters, man. But,
experience does matter. Absolutely. We're not taking away from that. You just think they could beat You think they could beat Minnesota though?
I think they beat any team that they gonna win their play-in matchup. That could be the Timberwolves, the Clippers, or the Pelicans. Now, after that, first round bye-bye. But they're gonna win they play-in and go to the playoffs.
Sheesh. Gee, what you think about this, man? What you think of what LeBron got facing him?
The Lakers is trash. The Lakers is full trash. That's who LA is. TRASH, trash. They might not even get into the playoffs. The San Antonio Spurs is coming, and they might get in because they're only a half a game or a game up in front of the Spurs. The Spurs got a cupcake schedule going down the end. So does the New Orleans Pelicans. Anthony Davis needs to change his name to Always Down. AD, trash.
Wow.
Get him out the league. LeBron need to go in,
have a conversation.
Get him out the league. He trash. He ain't gonna get healthy. He's always hurt. He's always down. He's causing the Lakers all kind of problems. Bron is sick of it. He tired. I seen him on the bench the other day. It looked like LeBron was getting older every second he was on the bench. He went from being a 37-year-old man to a 39-year-old man. The next time they called timeout, he was 42 years old. The next time they called timeout, he was 45. He ain't got no help, nothing. He need to go in when the all season's over with and tell Jeannie Buss, look here, get rid of Westbrook, get rid of Always Down, cut the rest of them, and get me some squad players, or I'm out of here because the Lakers is trash. I'm calling it, I'm saying it, and I mean it. Trash.
B Dirt said, and G called me a hater.
Trash.
Listen, man, I always down. Wow. I don't think
he said get him out the league, though.
Get him out the league.
I don't think you should get him out the league.
Get him out.
I think you got to get him off.
How can you be a top 5 player and be this trash? But no, everybody else say you're a top 5. No, how can you be a top 5 player? He's trash. He's the worst top 5 player ever.
I think he may have had top 5 potential and may still have it.
He definitely has top 5 potential, but he is not a top 5 player.
Trash is
not
what
right
he
now.
Is. Always down. He need to come with some man. I can't even talk about it anymore. They're the worst team I ever seen that's got so much potential. And you got the greatest player, maybe in NBA history on your team, and you trash.
Basura.
It doesn't make no sense. You trash. It would be better off for them to not make the playoffs. Maybe they'll get a better draft pick.
Hey, talk about the Lakers, man. Have y'all watched that HBO show Winning Time?
You know, Tate, you read my mind because I was about to really talk about that. I was definitely going to ask you guys what you guys think about Winning Time. Since you asked the question, I love it. I like, now some of it's going to be dramatization and
did you learn anything watching it thus far that you didn't know? Yeah,
Jerry West. About his
Jerry West, man.
Yeah, man, Jerry West has been. I mean, about him quitting and then coming back to the organization. I had to go Google that.
And he didn't want Magic.
Yeah, he didn't want him.
He's talking about putting him in the post.
Yeah,
and they was going to draft Sidney Moncrief.
I mean, that wouldn't have been a bad draft pick, but we talking about Magic Johnson.
Magic, you know what I'm saying? Magic,
definitely. Hey, Magic. I see like later on how Magic got in trouble. Magic was killing the broads, man.
Listen,
Magic was hanging out at Z's.
We won't even explore that aspect of it. We act like that didn't happen. But what we will talk about is the amount. Well, first of all, you can see, and there's another thing that got me. Otis Nixon, and when
Norm Nixon,
how he had businesses.
You think about the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, right. You see where my mind at. Which we got to talk about baseball here in a minute. So, but when you think about it, right, he came into the league around people who already had established businesses, right? So when he got his money, he was starting to think about businesses already because these guys had shops and stuff like that, so it's easy for him to start thinking about, and what he's done as a businessman throughout his whole, Starbucks, the theaters and everything.
But Dr. Buss put that on, bro. Dr. Buss, if you ever talk about an owner-player relationship, I bet you it's hard to find a better, in the history of all sports, a better owner-player relationship than Dr. Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson.
I would agree, but I think you got to put Mr. Kraft and Tom Brady in there too, though.
Yeah, that's up there. But Dr. Buss put Magic Johnson on. Dr. Buss described stuff to him that he put him in scenarios just to see what he would do, to see what he would, what he could figure out and how he would think. Because Dr. Buss was a shrewd businessman. You talking about some of the stuff because the brother didn't even have the bread to buy the Lakers. He didn't even have. He faked it till he made it.
I think shrewd ain't the word we looking for. You know the guy, Mr. What was his first name? Mr. Cook. He was also the owner of the Redskins too, the Washington Redskins football team.
Right.
I like the way that they. First of all, let's talk about casting. This is something that I learned to pay attention to because of Marvel. But when they casted an excellent Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Who is that guy? Who is he? I don't know him.
He just,
unknown.
I might have seen him in some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all know that that's Norm Nixon's son playing Norm Nixon?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Devon Nixon, that's his son. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Debbie Allen.
No, Debbie Allen's his stepmom.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, that and then of course he's not as tall as Pat Riley, but man, that character, the guy, I like him as Pat Riley. I think, like I said, they have done an excellent job casting. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the guy from Step Brothers that's playing Jerry Buss, he's carrying the heck out that role. He's carrying
I like the dude that played Jerry Tarkanian, too.
Yeah. And Red Auerbach, the guy that played Red Auerbach. That fit great, man. Red Auerbach was shrewd, man. Red Auerbach, man. Woo.
But he could be cocky, man. Look at all of the championships he won. You know what I'm saying? Listen, humility just wasn't him. He didn't have to be humble at all. So if you guys listen, you guys out there in Know It All land, if you get a shot and you get an opportunity, that's not something you want to go watch with your kids. I need to preface that and put that out there.
Yeah, you don't watch it with the kids because Magic getting it in.
But
shoot, everybody getting it in quiet.
You definitely want to check it out. Winning Time on HBO Max is really, really a good show. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the mess out of it. I think, and like I said, learning that about Pat Riley, learning that about Jerry West, those are things that. Go ahead.
I'm saying Pat Riley. I didn't realize to this wasn't even expecting to get into coaching. He wanted to be the broadcast guy, the analyst.
He just wanted to be close to basketball.
Yeah.
Right. He missed the game and he was out here hooping, on Venice Beach and stuff, getting elbows to the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, anytime you go and play a pickup game anywhere in any hood, you're gonna get some elbows shot your way. That's gonna happen from some wannabes.
Hey, you haven't let see the come yet, but how they built. So they started out with like Magic, Kareem, Nixon, Jamal Wilkes, right? And how we're gonna see this match rate where they're gonna trade Nixon and get Byron Scott. They're gonna some kind of way finagle their way into getting James Worthy as the number one overall pick.
I think that was a trade they had already done before that season was over. They had somebody's number one pick from a previous trade. And James Worthy was just going to be the number one player.
Yeah, we're going to see that play out on the screen, man. That's going to be like great to see.
James Worthy, Michael Jordan, all on the same team. God, that's just crazy, man. How you beat that team? You know what I'm saying? How you beat that team? But, I think, and I'll go back and I'll say this, had my man Lenny Bias not died,
Boston was building. Boston
was coming back, and we may not be talking about money the way we be talking about money. Because Lenny Bias was that thing. He was that thing for real.
So they would have paid Len Bias at 2 guard. It would have been Parrish at center, McHale at 1 forward, Bird at the other forward, Lenny Bias at 2, and DJ at the point. Oh my God. Oh my God. They would have, man, look, Boston, woo.
Boston, that hurts.
Danny Ainge would have been on the bench.
On the bench.
You know what I'm saying? He'd been on the banks, just coming off the banks. Man, listen. So, like I said, Winning Time, HBO, it comes on tonight. Make sure you check it out. If you ain't seen at least a couple of episodes of it, you can watch 3 or 4 episodes of it. I think this is the 4th episode, if I'm right. Yeah, man, but totally moving out of and I got to say this, with the NBA playoffs getting ready to gear up, my team that I would watch in the East is the Chicago Bulls. I like the Bulls, what they're doing. I like their roster. I think that, they have enough to make a deep run in this year's playoffs. On the other side with the West, I love my Mavericks. It is what it is. But I will say that, Phoenix is the team to beat. And I think Phoenix is actually going to win it all. If you ask me right now who's going to win it all, my money's on Phoenix. Definitely. Who you got, G? Who you see winning it all, and who you like in the East?
In the East is 3 squads: Philadelphia, Boston, and Milwaukee. And the West is 4 squads: Phoenix, Memphis, and the Golden State Warriors. But don't count out the Denver Nuggets. Don't count them out.
So what you think, Tay? Who you got, man?
Man, I think you bought in too much on the Bulls, man. I don't believe in the Bulls. They beat the Cavs last night. But if I'm picking a team out of the East right now, it was tough. I'm between Philly and Milwaukee as far as the East. And in the West, I mean, it's looking real easy to pick the Suns, but I just feel like, you know how, and the Suns have been there before, where you got good regular season teams.
Mm-hmm.
They run through the regular season, and Phoenix is a better team than that. But I think it's some matchups they can run into where they don't necessarily I'm not going to shoot them in. I feel like the West is open to 4 or 5 teams. The East is those 2, Philly and Milwaukee. But if I was picking one, I'm gonna root for Memphis.
Mm.
Yeah, and I guess I should have prefaced. Chicago is my sleeper team. That's my sleeper team. I can't go. I can't go away from Giannis, or I can't go away from KD now. I mean, that is what it is. It is what it is. And you got Kyrie coming back, able to play home games now on Wednesday. So yeah, hey, it is what it is. I mean, hey,
if they could put it together and have Ben Simmons and everybody in the 8 game,
Ben Simmons ain't gonna play this year, man.
It's Kyrie and KD. If they can put it together, we'll see. But I don't know. I think it's too little, too late.
Well, I mean, literally, I believe that it could really go either one of those ways. But I'm really believing that Phoenix is going to win it all. If I had to, just get on the hill and plant my flag and say, hey, this is what I believe is going to happen, I'm going to go with that. I just believe that Phoenix is going to win it all. I don't see anybody being strong enough to actually beat them. Last little tidbit, and I got to recognize my man's comment. He said this. He said, Big G, AD is a better power forward than Baker is a quarterback.
True. True, B-Dirt. True. But
Hey,
AD
but
is still always down.
what do they both have in common?
Trash. That's what
they both number 1 overall picks.
They
Man,
both trash.
Listen, Big G said they're both basura. They're both trash. They're both trash. But starting next week, we got an interesting development coming back. We have Major League Baseball, man. And a little amp, Tate is amped about seeing his squad come back, his Reds, come back. I'm amped about seeing the Braves come back. I'm actually amped about seeing what my Rangers is going to do this year too, man. I mean, my Texas Rangers, I got to see what they're going to do. We got to put something together, man. It's been too long. The Stros has been the other team out of, Texas that, tried to do something. But, hey, man, listen, that I need big bats. I need big bats to come to Houston. Houston manufactures a lot of runs, which is cool. I get it. But that slow ball, sometimes when you get behind, man, it's really hard. It's really, really hard for you to actually climb out of that hole, man. It's really hard. Because when people who have big bats start hitting deep home runs and cleaning up and having 3 or 4 people on base, then, man, you got to overcome it. And, man, stringing together base hits is really hard to do. But I'm excited about this year's baseball year. And what do you say, Tate? Are you happy about the return of baseball? Are you ready?
I am ready, man. I mean, I'm baseball is a slow game, and I don't catch I try and catch every one of my NFL teams games and most of my NBA teams, the Cavaliers, catch most of their games. Baseball is a little slower. I check out some games. Maybe they play probably 4 or 5 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
I probably catch a good 2 or 3, but I usually tune in to the last couple of innings in most of my baseball games. The Reds, I don't know what to expect from this year. They had a fire sale basically. They try to cut a lot of salary. They let Nick Castellanos go. He was like second or third in the MVP voting last year. Huh?
Where'd he end up?
He signed with the Phillies.
Ooh.
Yeah, he signed with the Phillies.
The Phillies are still trash. Don't. That's my squad. They trash.
We got a lot of good young players though. Jonathan India was Rookie of the Year. Tyler Stevenson, the catcher, I like him a lot. We still got Joey Votto, and I think we got a lot of good young pitching, but it's young and unproven. We still got Luis Castillo and Tyler Mahle. I like those guys to be at the front of the rotation. Nice, solid veteran starting pitchers. But yeah, man. So I don't know what to expect, but April 7th, that's next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Week from this Thursday comes about 10 days left. Not this Thursday coming, about the next Thursday.
The next one, yeah.
Yeah, that's when it starts. So I'll definitely be watching opening day.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What you think about y'all losing Freddie Freeman?
it's gonna hurt, but it ain't. It's not gonna. I mean, it's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna be. It's a whole. But we're gonna be all right.
Y'all getting Acuna Jr. back, right?
We gonna be all right. We gonna be. You know that Kendrick song. We gonna be all right. Yeah, we gonna be all right. Definitely. He said read Jock Peterson's tweet about spinning in MLB. He goes in. Definitely. We're gonna check that out. Thanks for the recommendation.
Jock Peterson?
B-Dirt. Yeah, he said Jock, J-O-C Peterson.
All right, y'all keep talking. I'm looking it up now. I want to know what he says.
Yeah, no, we'll check it. We'll check that out and definitely comment on the next show. All right, so we at the place, man, where we got definitely our parting shots. Big G, give me a parting shot, man. What's your parting shot for this week?
Little known NFL history. First time in NFL history, 6 teams have more than 2 first-round picks. And you have one team that has 3 in NFL history. What that's telling me is going to happen, it's going to be a whole lot of trades on draft day. Teams are going to go up and get who they want and package because you got a whole bunch of teams that's got a whole bunch of picks. 6 teams is going to dictate this next upcoming season. Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles, New York Jets, and the New York Football Giants. 6 teams with 2 picks or more.
Okay. All right, G. You now when you put the football Giants in it, I have to laugh because honestly, ain't nothing.
Because you're a hater. You're a hater.
Good happening for the Giants. All the bad things in life gonna happen to the Giants. And
once again, because you're a hater. You're a hater.
And you know what? I ain't never hated a day in my life except against the Giants, and only the Giants. Can't stand the Giants. I'm a real Cowboy fan. We don't like the Giants. Give me your parting shot, Tate. Give me your parting shot for this week.
Well, real quick, I saw what B Dirt was talking about. This dude, Jock Peterson, talking about the disparity in baseball payroll. Baseball need to go some type of salary cap, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the top 3 teams, you got the Dodgers with a $270 million payroll. You got the Mets with a $250 million payroll. And you got the Yankees with a $235 million payroll.
Right.
Now, the bottom 3, the Cleveland Guardians, $35 million. The Pirates, $35 million. And the Baltimore Orioles, $30 million.
You can't even compete.
You can't even compete, right? You can't even compete. I think baseball need to go to a payroll. But that we can talk about that another day. But I got to say my parting shot is, man, I don't even got one, man. I just like listening to what Big G say, man. He's stuck on this 6-7 receivers in the first round. He's really excited about all the teams with multiple picks. I don't know, man. What you think, Big G? I was reading an article where it said if about the Steelers, if Malik Willis fall to 10, the Steelers probably gonna trade up and try and get him.
We're going to go get him. If he go
like
past
that?
10.
You like that?
You
like that?
I do, but I don't. I like that. I don't like giving up draft capital. But if we think that Willis can be our quarterback for 10 years, go get him.
That was my party shot. I think that's what this says, Big G, is all these teams with all these picks and multiple picks. I think it's saying other teams don't value the picks as much because they trading these picks for known commodities and letting you take the shot at throwing a dart at the dartboard to see what you get.
And on top of that, the thing that any NFL organization understands is you got to pay them first round pick money,
but not for 5 years. For 5 years, you don't.
When you draft somebody, you still got to give them first round pick money. It is what it is.
You ain't got to give them the big bread for 5 years.
The big bread, but you're still paying. You're still paying more than you would for a normal rookie contract. You're paying them money. You're paying them bread. You know what I'm saying? But the gist of the matter is my big shot, my parting shot, and my big shot here is that, listen, there are still some free agents available that can turn the tide in the NFL. And I guarantee you this will be the most competitive NFL year that we will ever see and that we have seen in recent years. I think, there's going to be a lot of teams. There was a guy who I saw on TikTok, and he had me laughing because he was saying, Dallas Cowboys is only going to win 8 to 10 games. I'm like,
that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Games, yeah, but 8 to 10 games is about what everybody's going to win, especially in the AFC East. AFC East, AFC West. It's a battle, and ain't nobody coming out of that bad baby with 5 losses, 6 losses. 3 losses. You're gonna lose 5 to 6 games. It's gonna happen because you're playing teams, and there's so much parity in the NFL right now that a 10, 12 win season is a good win. That is a good record. That's gonna be a good record in the NFL this year. So my parting shot is man, wherever these other free agents land, if they get cut, if they get traded, it's still going to be a very, very, very good football year and very competitive. And every game's probably going to be decided by 3 to 10 points. I don't think we're going to see a whole bunch of blowouts. There's some doormat teams, of course, but they're few and far between, man. You're definitely going to get a lot. But, man, if you like what you heard this week, make sure that you like and subscribe. Like it on Facebook. Definitely subscribe on Twitch and YouTube. So every time that we go live, you'll be able to catch us when we do. For the KnoItAllz, man, we thank you guys for hanging out with us on this Sunday. We out. We'll holla. Peace.